you're the type of person that sets a goal, starts strong for a week, 15 days, or maybe even a month, and then all of a sudden you lose all motivation and quit, this video is for you. And I understand you, I've been at that point several times. So today, we're going to break that cycle for good. Look, if you go to the too fast, you're gonna get injured. You may know this if you've ever tried to stretch. When you first start stretching, you cannot touch your foot at once, or you cannot do a back bend in the first session. You need to do session after session, stretch after stretch, until eventually you get some skills. Well, the same applies emotionally and mentally, because we often start wanting to do everything at once. We have this burst of motivation. You wake up at 4 a.m. every day, you hit the gym, you cut all the junk food, and then burnout. You can't sustain it. You started sprinting when it was all meant to be a marathon. And I have found that the formula for getting the transformation you want in life is baby steps with consistency over extreme steps with inconsistency. Because the guy who does just enough but never stops will always gain against the guy who goes crazy for a month and then quits. Another reason why we tend to stop: comparison. We start seeing people killing it, and we ask ourselves, man, I've been putting the work too. I've been killing myself to do this as well. Why am I not getting the same results? And why am I not there yet? But let me tell you something straight up. We cannot compare our chapter 1 to somebody else's chapter 10. And you may wonder why. Well, simply because you're not them. They might have been doing this for longer. Maybe they started with better resources, better genetics, better habits. But none of that matters, because the only person you should be comparing yourself to is who you were yesterday. By this, I don't mean that you shouldn't be getting inspiration from people who is ahead of you. I encourage you to do that. But what it means is that you should not beat yourself up because you are not there yet. This happened a lot to me when I was in the gym. I saw everyone around me, my friends, my peers, the people in the gym that was training just the same as me, or maybe I was even training harder, but they were getting better and quicker results while I was still in the process. And my progress was super slow, and that was discouraging. But here's the thing: your body, your mind, your life, it's all different. And life flows better when we recognize that some people build muscle fast. Some people take longer. Some people grow their business in 6 months, while others may take 6 years. But if you're always comparing yourself to others, you'll never win, because you're playing their game instead of yours. So get inspired by others. Let their progress show you what's possible, but never let them make you feel like you're less. Another reason why we tend to quit is because our why is weak, and we are relying on motivation, but motivation is a scam. Motivation fades, it comes and goes, and you cannot rely on that. What really keeps you going is purpose. Think about this: if you start going to the gym just to get abs and impress people, what happens when it gets hard? You're going to stop, because your reason was weak. It came from the ego, and the ego is very fragile. You weren't doing it for you. You were doing it for external validation and to impress others. But if your reason is deeper, if it truly comes from a deep desire that actually comes from within, from the roots, if you truly want to be stronger, healthier, have more energy, be your best self, that will not fade. That will actually last, because it is real. And that is why your why has to be unshakable. Otherwise, you'll always be stopping and starting, stuck in this cycle of, oh, I am motivated, and then you start, and then the wheel starts spinning. But you suddenly get into an event and something happens and you quit. You go to a party, you go to a mall, you go on a trip, you get a girlfriend, whatever happens in your life, and you suddenly quit, and you start making excuses, and you keep failing yourself and hurting your self-esteem. So please make sure to have your why clearly stated, and make sure that it comes from within instead of without. But even beyond having a clear and purposeful why, here's what nobody talks about. You don't change your reality by just changing your actions. You change your reality by shifting your identity. So when it comes to shifting your identity, your self-perception is everything. Because the truth is that you're not simply going on a diet, you're actually becoming a healthy person. You're not just trying to work harder, you're becoming someone disciplined. If you always focus on what you do instead of who you are, you will always struggle. But if you shift your self-image, everything changes. And James Clear puts it perfectly in a book that I truly love and recommend, which is Atomic Habits, when it says that every action you take is a vote for the type of person you want to become. So every time you choose to go to the gym, even when you don't feel like it, you're casting a vote for I am a fit person. And every time you choose discipline over comfort, you're casting a vote for I am someone who follows through. And the beauty of this, my friend, is that your habits don't define you, your identity does. And when you shift that identity, your habits will naturally follow through. Once you shift your identity, the next step is clarity and discipline. You need to know exactly what you want because clarity breeds mastery. And then you need discipline because that is what separates those who keep going from those who quit. Discipline is stronger than talent, stronger than motivation, and much stronger than willpower. So what's it gonna be? Are you gonna be the person that keeps stopping and feeling bad about it? Or are you going to be the person who finally figures this out and makes real progress? Drop a comment below if this hit your heart. And if you're ready to change, let's do it together.